I'm going to firstly tell you a little bit about Special Olympics. Now, some of you may have heard of Special Olympics already. From what you've heard already today, I think that you understand that sport is, as a disability sport, can be pan-disability. And then there are different aspects of disability that you can also consider as well. And within that, Special Olympics deals with intellectual disability. So I'll tell you a little bit more about how that works in a minute. But the idea, firstly, I wanted to get across is why Special Olympics is important. Now, I'm going to start by asking you guys a few questions. So let's imagine the whole world's population is shrunk down to 100 people, okay? Now, on this tiny island of 100 people, I'd love for someone to tell me how many would be male and how many would be female. Any ideas?
49, 51.
Okay, right, you got the idea. So it's 48 male and 52 female. Okay, how many would be unable to read? 10, 40 or 70? Any ideas? 70, great, thank you. How many will have gone to university? 6, 30 or 50? 6, this is a great room, great, thank you. And then how many would live in poor housing? 50, 80 or 85? 80, okay. How many wouldn't have enough to eat? 7, 10 or 11? 11, okay. How many will not have access to essential health care? 6, right. How many would be disabled? 12, 13 or 15? 15, okay. Now, how many would be intellectually disabled? That's an IQ below 70. Okay, well, it's actually 2, okay. Now, the reason why I've done that, that's because we measure, that they are the standards of living that we have, right? Now, Special Olympics, and when you think about it, that's 240, when you look at 2 people on an island of 100, 240 million people worldwide have an intellectual disability. That makes them the largest disability populations in the world. Now, I'm going to do that same thing when we look at their standards of living. Of our 2 intellectually disabled people, now remember, we've really distilled it, we're going quite broad here. So there are people in these standards that you're going to know go against the grain. But let's have a look. How many would be unable to read? Of your 2? Both, right? How many will have gone to university? Neither. Right. How many would live in poor housing? Both, right? How many wouldn't have enough to eat? Right. Now, the reason why I've done that is because what I'm trying to demonstrate is that whilst it is the largest disabled population in the world, when it comes to all the things that we measure standards of living on, they are the ones that seem to be the most isolated, the most excluded. And it's because people with intellectual disabilities face all of the dimensions of exclusion that you can imagine. They face social stigma, they don't have a voice. Culturally, they're more likely to be excluded than anybody else. And so, essentially, that's why Special Olympics works with them. At the same time, because there is so much in there, you realize that it's not just sport that we're doing. What we're doing is developmental work which goes alongside that. And that's because we're working with a population that doesn't seem to be served anywhere else on this level. There's lots of pockets of great work taking place everywhere around the world. But for us, we've tried to use sport as a platform to consolidate all of that. So currently we deliver 36 Olympic type sports. We have a World Games every 2 years. That's the Winter Games and the Summer Games. Our Summer Games are taking place this year in March in Abu Dhabi. And then we have 178 countries worldwide that we operate in. Now, in Asia Pacific, we currently work in 33. And that includes every country, well, I say every, a lot of countries from Afghanistan all the way through to the Pacific Islands. We have, it says 5 million athletes up there. We're actually up to 6.2 million athletes worldwide. In our region, in Asia Pacific, we have 1.5 million. And we work in these 33 countries are independent of us, but we manage them, we support them, we give them the accreditation support, and Singapore would be one of those countries. I did want to point out how we are very different from the Paralympics, and probably different from how you would really look at sport more traditionally. We know within Special Olympics, we're talking about giving people an opportunity to play sport. It's not about high performance. It's not about elite level competition. We want to make sure that if you have an intellectual disability, not only do you get a chance to walk into a normal sports club and say, yes, I want to play a sport, and there is something for you, but we want to make sure you get a competitive opportunity as well. So our World Games are large-scale events where people might be able to run 100 meters in 10 to 15 seconds, but they may also compete with people of a like ability as them. 100 meters in 2 minutes, right? Yeah, exactly the same.
Same.
Exactly. And so, because there's so much we do, we sum up our work in 2 global goals: how we affect our athletes and how we influence the community and wider society. So I'm going to hand over to Hanako now, who's going to tell you a little bit about her story as an athlete.
Hi, my name is Hanako. I'm from Special Olympics Asia Pacific. I'm an administration assistant. I'm a Dipak's colleague, so I share my stories. So when do you know how long I have been in Special Olympics? Anyone guesses? Yeah, it's 26 years. 26 years. All right. Okay. Oh, before Special Olympics, when I was 13 years old, I studied at the Japanese school, and then all my classmates hate me, and in my classmates, 9 girls they bully me. They all girls. They bully me every day. So the time I was very shy and not talk to people. I'm scared. Yeah. Then after that, I studied thanks to Dipak school. It's international school. So inside the classroom, there are few students participate in swimming programs, and one of my friend's mother asked me to join Special Olympics Singapore swimming programs and bowling programs. So when I go there, I see a lot of the people with intellectual disabilities, children and adult training there. So in 2003, I was part of the team or of the Special Olympics Singapore. There are 44 delegations to the games. Then I won 1 gold and 2 silver during the World Games in Dublin. So after the training, after the game, I came back and I decided to taking part in a public speaking course, Toastmaster course, because reason why I participated in a public speaking course I'm in Dublin in the last day of the host town programs. One of the staff, as a Singapore staff, asked me to follow a speech to the Accra people. Accra is in a Dublin, in a host town in Singapore. So I gave a follow-up speech to them. So, and then 2005, I became an international global messenger. It's an international global messenger. It's a part of the athlete leadership programs.
Okay.
So.
And then you met.
I met Prime Minister of Japan and Mayor of Nagano. So, yeah.
And then you also
during
sat on
Yeah, I was.
Board of Special
Yes,
Olympics Singapore.
yes. I was a board member of the SO Singapore. So, and now I'm stronger, and I'm not afraid to talk to people, and I'm express my ideas. So, yeah,
You are.
I'm a coach. So, and also I'm an advisor for the young people and other athletes.
Thank you. Thank you. Hanako's story, in summary, Chris, I will be quick. It simply explains what Special Olympics does. We take people, as Hanako explains in her story, she was bullied, she was excluded, she was isolated from her community, and she got a chance to discover that she can swim, she can play bowling, she's great at that. Through that, she managed to be part of a Special Olympics community, and from there, she's led a life where she's taken part in personal development programs that we run, skills development programs that we run in sport and outside sport, and she's now a coach with Special Olympics. So all of that is what we do. Influencing wider society, so that's the athlete journey. Wider community is a massive part of what we need to do at Special Olympics, which is use sport as a conduit for the wider community to engage with people with intellectual disabilities. We know that's how you challenge stigma, look at people's perceptions of disability and of intellectually disabled people. So obviously there's our games and competitions. Now, as I said, there's high performance sport and they all have large scale competitions. We have large scale competitions, but we also have very localized work as well. So you'll be seeing local competitions taking place regularly within local communities everywhere we are in Asia Pacific. We work with young people in a school environment through something called unified schools and unified sports. Those ideas are where you bring people with and without intellectual disabilities together on the playing field with matching their abilities. So everyone gets a chance to play, and they can play in a recreational environment or in a competitive environment. And those types of programs are really how we see ourselves as an organization, making sure that people with intellectual disabilities get a chance to actually play, but also to be around other people and socialize with other people. Working with us, especially, I would say, in terms of how we do things, we have our projects and events. So we have the Athlete Leadership Program, we have the Unified Sports Activity, Unified Schools Activity. All these are actually ways in which we engage in the local community. Our games and competitions are a wider platform where we look predominantly at sponsorship, but those projects and events are ways in which we engage with people on a socially responsible agenda. We have campaigns. We've launched our human race campaign quite recently, which is about respect, acceptance, change and equality. In that, we tell using social media and a website, we're actually telling the stories of athletes and making sure they get a chance to explain what their fears are, what their dreams are, what their aspirations are. And through that, we know we can explain that actually people with intellectual disabilities are not any different from anyone else. Campaigns like that are what we're very proud of delivering at Special Olympics. And then employee engagement. Unified Sports is a great way for us to do that. That's where we bring people with and without intellectual disabilities onto playing fields together. We do it through exhibition matches, through recreational activities and so forth. Everything we do is tailor-made, and it would be great to talk to you all about that in a short while. Thank you. Hope that wasn't too long.